When we talk about radio communications, we're usually referring to talking with air traffic controllers, other pilots on a CTAF, or sometimes ground personnel via Unicom. But there's another group of people we might communicate with over the radios. A flight service station, or FSS, is run by a private contractor and provides pre-flight and in-flight operational services to pilots. They're not air traffic control and can't issue instructions the way air traffic controllers do. One important difference between air traffic control positions and flight service stations is that you're often able to contact flight service on multiple frequencies. The Leesburg Flight Service Station covers an area overlaying most of Maryland and Virginia. You can contact them on a number of different frequencies, and they can transmit to you on a number of frequencies as well. These are all listed out in the chart supplement for the region. The Universal Flight Service frequency is 122.2, so if you don't know what frequency to use in a given area, they're always monitoring this one. Flight Service has the ability to transmit voice over a VOR transmitter, so if you could tune to a VOR, you can hear their transmissions. For example, if you're in the vicinity of the Brook VOR, you can receive FSS transmissions over the VOR frequency 114.5, and they'll be able to receive your transmissions if you broadcast on 122.1. This information is also shown on the identification information for this VOR on the sectional chart. What this means is that specialists working at Leesburg Flight Service are monitoring all these frequencies at once. They won't necessarily know which frequency we're transmitting on or which frequency they should respond on, unless we tell them. In this case, we'll address them as Leesburg, which is written in the box underneath, and the position is called radio, so it'll be Leesburg Radio. We'll follow that with our call sign, and then which frequencies we're using and our position. So it could be Leesburg Radio, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, transmitting 122.1, receiving 114.5, 5 miles south of the Brook VOR. Or we could use the generic flight service frequency. Leesburg Radio, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, transmitting and receiving on 122.2, 5 miles south of the Brook VOR. In addition to VORs and the 122.2 frequency, we can communicate over a remote communications outlet, or RCO, which can be found only on the chart supplement page. Here's one for Leesburg at the Salisbury RCO on 122.3. You have the ability to contact flight service from the ground at some airports using a ground communications outlet, or GCO. The frequency at Carroll County Airport is 121.72. The way this works is you key your mic 6 times and a telephone connection is made on the field to flight service into your radio. This is helpful for closing flight plans at the end of a flight. Finally, you can get in touch with flight service via their nationwide number at 1-800-WX-BRIEF, though obviously it's preferred to use the telephone option for pre- or post-flight, like closing flight plans, not for in-flight needs. What does flight service do for us? Firstly, it's with them that we can open and close our VFR flight plans. Let's say we filed our flight plan for Carroll County to Salisbury. Upon departing Carroll County, we can call up flight service on the appropriate frequency and say, Leesburg Radio, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango, please open my VFR flight plan from Carroll County to Salisbury at 5 minutes past the hour. We do have the option of filing a flight plan from the air, but it's preferred we do this in advance so we don't clog up the frequency. Closing flight plans can be done, as we said, via ground frequency or by calling the nationwide number. In flight, if we have landing assured at our destination, we can close from the air as well. Flight service is able to give us updates on the status of special use airspace, such as if a particular restricted area is hot or cold, though this is a service that can typically be provided by ATC as well. We can use flight service to file pilot reports. For example, we could say, Leesburg Radio, Cessna 518 Foxtrot Tango is a Cessna 152 over the Brook VOR, VFR at 4,500. Overcast cloud layer at 6,000 feet, turbulence light to moderate continuous chop. FSS will take our PIREP and disseminate it on sources of weather like aviationweather.gov for all to see. Finally, FSS is able to act as a relay for air traffic control. If you're unable to contact ATC or having trouble getting in touch, you can ask flight service to assist. Oftentimes, they're able to relay messages between ATC and you. In instances where it's a bit unclear which ATC facility you should contact for things like flight following, you may be able to ask flight service which frequency they recommend giving your current position. Flight service's scope of operations has been reduced over the past few decades, but they still provide a good network of services that not enough pilots are trained to be able to take advantage of in this day and age.